La novia. Please join me in welcoming Paula Ortiz and Luisa Gavasa. Take your time. It's okay. Come on.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Marvelous to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here, let's take a seat.
Okay.
So we're not just in Rotterdam, as you know, we're all across Europe. I just want to say hello to the Netherlands, of course, Curacao we mentioned earlier, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Latvia, Scotland, Poland, Slovakia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia, Italy, and of course Spain.
Incredible.
Hello to all those cinemas out there. And we have questions coming in by Twitter. We have a live feed with Milan, so let's see what people are asking about the film already. Okay, this is nice. It's a question for Paula.
Okay.
A beautiful film.
Thank you.
Which scene was the most difficult to shoot and why?
The whole movie was very difficult to shoot. Well, first of all, thank you everybody to be here, and thank you everybody around many countries to share this experience with our movies. It's so exciting. It was very difficult, the whole movie, because the original text, Federico García Lorca's tragedy, was a very delicate, very delicate text, and we tried to shoot it in very complicated locations.
Whose fault was that?
Whose?
Whose fault was that?
My fault, sorry. But not only my fault. I think the whole crew, we wanted to do it, but yet it was my fault.
The hard way, the real way, yeah.
But the most difficult scene was the opening scene and the final scene, the most tragic one. The one when the bride is coming with the two dead men. Because of many things that were happening at the same time, we had to stop that scene for, I think, 3 times and repeat it because technical issues and meteorological issues, and it was
meteorological issues.
Yeah.
There was a lot of wind. I mean, that was like, it's an intense kind of landscape that you chose to shoot the film in.
We had to stop once because of red alert, wind alert.
A red alert. So you were like.
And at the same time, the actors had to say a very intense and tragic dialogues. They had to go through the death and through the pain and talk about the fault, the love, the desire. Whose fault was that? I don't care, your death, your life. It was so intense and so hard.
Can I ask you, Luisa, did it help you, that intensity of the elements, the landscape, the wind, did that bring something to the intensity of the role?
Sometimes, good afternoon, I beg your pardon, my English is not so good that I don't like it. I try to explain myself and to answer. Yes, sometimes it helped. It's helped me because it was some very madness, Sometimes the wind.
It brought a madness.
Makes you a little bit mad, and this mother sometimes she's mad, and the whole my poor mother, I love her so much, but she's always in black, and she always thinking, my husband, run, like the wind, run, the wind, and
sometimes we thought that Lorca was sending the wind to create that mood.
To bring the atmosphere as a gift to you, as a gift, not to. Actually, we have a question coming in from Milan about this question of Lorca. Can we have the Milan question, please?
My question is, how difficult was it to adapt such a famous theatre play?
How difficult was it to adapt something so famous, so weighty?
Yeah, it was, well, it was a challenge. I did the adaptation with Javier García Redondo, that it's over there. We both, over there.
¿Quieres agua?
We wrote the script together. He was keeping the balance with the structure, and I was taking care with the dialogues, more or less. And the point was that it was a responsibility, because many people around the world has read Lorca's tragedies and has imagined that mother, that bride, that...
They have their connection
Yeah.
already.
And everybody, many people know about the Lorca's symbolic universe, about the moon and landscape and blood and that passional symbols. And even in Spain, we have one more thing, and even I think maybe around the world too, but in Spain it's a very tricky point, Lorca's death, the political issues.
Famously so, yeah.
Yeah, it was even in Spain now to adapt Lorca. It's something that many people want, and many people is scared to touch that. So, but I think our generation has to bring again that stories with new language.
And thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for doing that. There's actually, just on that question of symbolism, there's a question from Dino Olivier. Can you explain the symbolism of the formed and shattered glass and the significance of the carousel?
Okay.
So the glass and the carousel. And also, where did you find that within Lorca, I guess?
Yeah, it wasn't the carousel, and even the glass wasn't in the original play, in the original text, but Lorca always talked about glass and forges. Always is talking in his poetic world, in the poems, in other plays. He always create that moment with the forge, with the iron forge or glass forge. And we choose the glass because he repeats many times how glasses are inside of you, inside your hair, your heart, or your tongue.
And
he said that, and he said that many times. So we decided to use the glass material to create the atmosphere, because also it's a very visual tool to create that mood between the dream, the reality, the past. And that was about the carousel, the past, the future, that symbol about the time.
Caught in something as well. Unable to escape. Yeah.
Yes.
And glass is both beautiful and can be dangerous, which is great. We have a clip of you working on the film.
Okay.
We have a clip, the making of, where you are shooting not the opening scene, but an early scene where the original death that set up the blood feud is happening. Let's have a look at that, because we also see Luisa working there as well.
Venga, vamos. ¿Sí? No importa. Dime si puedo. A Antonio le encantaría. Tenía ganas.
Cuadro. Acción.
This is a big production. Like, this is cinema on a grand scale, and you are out, as we said, in the elements.
It's not a big production.
It's not? It looks like a big production.
It looks, but
like.
it's not.
Really?
Yes, it's not at all. It's a small production in the Spanish industry. For example, this year we are one of the smallest budgets. Yeah, sure.
But you know it looks big.
We try to.
It looks magnificent.
We try.
It looks magnificent. Yeah. Just before we move on, For you, Luisa, the text,
Yes.
the words of Lorca that are being adapted and what joy did you find in that? Was it, I just love listening to the words coming out, and of course I'm only seeing it in translation, but hearing the original and then seeing the translation, the richness of the text must be marvelous to play.
Thank you. Well, I think there are two facts. First, I came from theater. I am habituated to play on the stage and to play the Shakespeare and Goethe and Molière, Pirandello. Then I'm a little bit accustomed. I have the habit to these great sentences. And above all, this is my second time I work with her, and I have all my confidence. Then, at the second day, my idea was, I'm not talking like a Lorquian character. I'm talking like myself. It was very easy with her because she had so clear the way she wants to do the film, and I follow her like the bride, you know. It's to follow her, and everything is easy. And it's our second film together, and I know very well how the way she does. And I look at her, she looks at me, and okay, it's done. Go.
And we're there.
Yes, always with our hand.
Yes, it feels and looks both intense and yet effortless. So that's, I think, the thing you were describing. Intense and yet at the same time, somehow easy.
Intense, sorry?
Intense.
Intense, yeah.
And yet also easy somehow.
Easy.
Which is
yes,
how
but she does.
Because of the two of you. Yeah.
She does.
There's a question here that relates to something you just said from working in the theatre. La Novia reminds us of the way other directors try to adapt, say, Shakespeare. So would you say Lorca is the Spanish bard, the Spanish Shakespeare?
Kind of. I think so. I think so because I think Lorca still today tell, in one hand, a universal point of view of human soul, but in the other hand, he materializes the Spanish culture, the Spanish identity, because of the Mediterranean way of living, that tragic way of living that landscapes are our lands, and I think it's a kind of our Shakespeare.
The heart of the people, the heart of the land.
I think so, because in Spain, most of the people feel that is connected with Lorca. When we were talking about we're going to do Lorca, everybody has read Lorca many times and feels that is telling us.
And it feels like time again. I mean,
Yeah.
there was Carlos Saura's Blood Wedding.
Blood Wedding with
which
the
is
dance.
marvelous, completely different kind of a film and marvelous, and it stands as a classic. But it's so beautiful to see. Would the two of you do Bernarda Alba, the House of Bernarda Alba?
I'd
Is
love
that
to.
coming?
I'd love to.
A comedy, please.
You don't want to be Bernarda?
Of course.
Of course, you want to be Bernarda Alba.
But
We all
later,
want to be sometime.
It's great. It's great.
marvelous piece, yeah.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I would love to see that. So I'm just voting for it.
Okay. We talk about it.
This is one for you, Luisa. Comedy? Okay, we'll give you a lighter question. How about this? If you were the bride, who would you choose?
That's a good one. You have to choose.
No, you, Luisa.
Okay, if I was the bride, I will be 30 years younger. It will be wonderful. But yes. But to have my age, to be here, to play, is good because it means I have a life.
But you have to choose between
I
the
have to
groom
choose.
and the Leonardo.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Oh. The bride.
To be the bride, but the groom or Leonardo?
Sorry, my English. Me. I don't know.
I know you.
I don't know. It's a very.
You know what is happening here, because I know very well her, that she wants to defend her song,
I can feel it too.
but I know you, and
Yes.
you were with Leonardo for sure.
Yes. Riding the horse. Oh my goodness. Yes, he's so handsome and so nice and so.
And the horse.
Oh, sorry, because I misunderstand the question.
Sure.
And I was
No,
thinking
it's fine.
about also if I was the bride, younger and beautiful and so on.
No,
so
no,
on.
the question is
Yeah.
which one do you think is hotter?
Leonardo.
Got it. Something. I mean, the music is amazing through the film. It's so present. It embodies so much of the characters' combined journeys. But you worked with a composer who's not Spanish, famously Shigeru Umebayashi, most well known probably for having done In the Mood for Love with Wong Kar-wai. Was that also like a dangerous place to go with something that is so essentially Spanish? Would you not be expected perhaps to use a Spanish composer?
Well, it was an idea at the very beginning of the project, in fact. But the point was that we have two different levels of the music in the movie. We have, in one hand, the songs, the popular songs that are in the original play. In the original play, the character sings. Everybody sings, the bride sings, and all that popular Spanish songs were like the roots, the musical
That was the
roots
starting
from
place,
the
yeah.
And I thought that we needed some music that was pushing the fate, because it's a tragedy, and we needed like a small thread that tries to go through the whole
To
movie,
bind it together, yeah.
to pulling you to that tragic end. And Shigeru Umebayashi music, it's like it's a very, very deep and it has that fate sense, that
It's a haunting quality almost.
yeah, and with not in a big orchestra or a big sense of philharmonic way of playing or way of composing, in a very, very smooth and very deep at the same time music. So I thought it was the perfect composer. At the beginning, we thought that we couldn't get him. But at the same time, when we talked with him the first time, he said, "I love Lorca." So he was connected with Lorca.
That's a good beginning.
Yeah.
It's a good start to the conversation. No, it works beautifully.
you.
Let's have another look at the making of that I first mentioned, the one that is about the original blood feud killing.
Okay.
You're right. It's very raw. You're saying it's a small production,
it's
and
it's
and Luisa
small.
is saying, "Where was my air-conditioned trailer?" We're out there on the salt flats. So, in a funny way, you do see that it's a smaller production than appears on the screen.
Yeah.
You were all out there in it. What makes the story of Blood Wedding or La Novia a story of all time, that we can hear it told time after time in new ways? What do you think is the core that makes it a story for all time?
Because we need to talk about desire and pain and love and death every day, every time. because we don't understand any of those ideas, any of those feelings at the end. We don't know what we have to choose, how to manage our life. Tragedies are asking about how do we manage our life.
This thing called life. Yeah.
Yes, this thing we call life. And so I think Blood Wedding is asking the eternal questions. And these eternal questions especially are relevant, are significant in these moments, in moments that I used to say in Spain, when we have, when the structures are falling down and we need to rebuild again, is when tragedies come up again, like
when we
in
need
Shakespeare.
to look at tragedy to find someone. In adapting this famous, marvelous work, did you think you found some of the answers to those? Just personally, as you explore the text, as you explore the characters together, was there something you learned yourself from the journey of making the film?
I didn't find the answers, but I learned many things, and I learned a very essential thing, creating especially the bride character and the mother's character. It was like how Lorca explored and searched in feminine souls the biggest strengths of life. You know, destroying strength and creating, and how they love and hate and kill and create new lives. You know, I think they are the big engines of the soul. And I learned that doing that. I mean, when I was studying in the university, I say, I can analyze that.
Intellectually, yeah.
But when you do that, and when you have to build that, it was a very interesting learning for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Did you, yes, the same question in a way, just was there something you learned, Luisa, about maybe what it is to be a woman by playing this woman, by playing this incredible mother?
¿Qué has aprendido de esta mujer, no? De ser mujer con esta mujer?
I think I learned that we can be many women at the same time, because it's not black, people. We are not black or white. People, we have many colors. And this woman is a poor woman who loves her son, but she envía.
Yes, she is sending her
death.
son
She
to
drives
death,
him to his death.
She wants her son was happy. She wants to love her daughter-in-law. Then probably I learned that people, we are very plenty of many things in our personality, and nothing is black or white. And at the end of the movie, I didn't. No, I love her more when we finish the movie than at the beginning. I understand much better. I am mother. I have children. And it's sometimes it was very repulsive.
Hearing you both speak, I think you do deserve a comedy before you do Bernarda Alba. Meanwhile, you've been nominated for 12 Goyas, which we'll hear about next week.
Yes.
We have to close here, but thank you both for being here. It's amazing. Thank you for sharing the film with us. And really, best wishes for those Goyas next week, and for the life of the film beyond this screening and around the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.